Another question, because I would argue that the murders that happen every day on the street are very interesting, but no one cares about that. MS-13 and all this shit, no one really cares about that. But this Epstein list they really care about. They want justice, sure, but it's a drama. It's interesting. They want to find out. They're curious. And I'm asking you, as a professional, you're in charge of a country. Your primary objective is to keep your oligarchy happy, to keep the wealth inside of your nation, and to make them obey you when it comes to sanctions and such other things, and to ensure that the US dollar becomes and stays the predominant currency globally. There's a bunch of bloodthirsty brokies on the internet who barely pay taxes who want to go through a list. Who are you going to prioritize? Who do you care about? I'm not saying it's fair, but anyone who believes the legal systems are fair is a dumbass anyway, because the legal system's never been fair. There's always been a who are you involved in all legal cases. So when you talk about the Epstein things, I sit and think it's all money orientated. Because broke people like to think that rich people should be held accountable like broke people. And that's a great idea. But guess what? They're not. They're not. Rich people have a different capability to fight against legal cases than a broke person. They can have better lawyers. They have better media spin. They have PR. They have news outlets. I'm not talking about myself because I'm not rich like these people. These people own news networks. They can affect public sentiment, which affects a jury, which affects their case. This is the bottom line of it. At the top level, at the top echelon of fame and money, legal cases aren't even about law. They're just a circus. If they pick you up, it's only deliberately to attack your image. It's not even about law at that point, like Trump. It was only to attack his image. With me, it was to attack my image. They didn't give a shit they got a conviction. They got a shit about keeping me in a country where I couldn't work, trying to take away all my money, and slandering me every day on the news. That's all they wanted to do. So you have to analyze these things as a professional and understand you're talking about the most powerful people in the world on this list, perhaps. And you're asking, why has the list not come out? I would argue that the most powerful people in the world, if they have half a brain, are talking to Cash and Pam and saying, look, maybe this is on, maybe I'm on that list, maybe I did something bad, but also look at all the good I've done, this. You want to appease a few Twitter autists, but it's going to have this consequence, that consequence, that consequence, that consequence, that consequence. And then as a rational adult, there's rational conversations to have. And rational conversations are about subjectivity and compromise. It's not about sitting and saying, that's the law, so that's what we're going to do, da-da-da. And that's what we all like to believe, that the law is the law and we all stick to the law. It doesn't work that way.
You know, I wonder if how many people know, for example, think about the Epstein files. How many people you think have seen it? How many know that are working for the government? What do you think that number is? 50? 100? Is it 20? Is it 18?
50 or less.
Or is it 300? How many is it?
But here's another thing. Here's another fear I would have if I was Cash. And I'm not in his position, but here's a fear I would have if I was Cash. I would understand there's a hostile media environment towards my president. I would understand that people lie by omission. As we discussed earlier, when you call 100 girls, you only choose one. When you leave out a huge part of the story, you are lying. But you're telling the truth about part of the story, but you're lying by omission. Perhaps they're looking at these files saying, there's 400 names on here, but there's these 2 names that's going to hurt us. Mm-hmm. And the media is going to ignore 398 names. Yeah. And they're going to only pick up these 2 names. And they're going to wreck us with these 2 names and ignore all the names on their side. Is this worth it to appease Twitter autists? Because we're now going to have a lying by omission attack that we're going to be dealing with for the rest of human time. Also, we have no idea what's in these Epstein files. I don't know. Nobody knows. Is it proof of crimes? Is it proof of trafficking? Is it sexual details? Or is it just a flight log? I don't know.